Scientists have noticed that a trio of solar flares have burst out from the Sun. They believe that we are undoubtedly going to see more activity in the upcoming days. It was 3 average-sized flares that blasted off the Sun on Thursday the 19th of May 2022. If the solar activity keeps amping up, we can certainly expect more. Before we get into the video, we will explain what solar flares are and how they are caused. Just for those of you that don't quite know what solar flares are, or how they work. If you're familiar with solar flares and how they work, feel free to fast forward a little to the main story. What are solar flares? Solar flares are tremendous blasts from the outer layer of the Sun that transmit extreme explosions of electromagnetic radiation. The power of the blast figures out what arrangement the flare has a place with. The most impressive are X-class flares, trailed by M, C, B, and A-class. A-class flares are the smallest. These flares can be apparent as brilliant blazes in a specific locale of the Sun and can most recent a few minutes, as indicated by the University Corporation for Atmospheric Research or UCAR for short. Solar flares happen when attractive energy develops in the sun-based air and is delivered abruptly. These explosions are naturally connected to the sunlight-based cycle, and around an 11-year pattern of sun-powered action driven by the Sun's attractive field. What causes solar flares? The Sun's surface is an attractively stirred-up place. Attractive fields are made from electrically charged gases, creating electrical flows that go about as an attractive dynamo inside the Sun, as indicated by an articulation from NASA. These attractive fields turn, dangle and revamp themselves because of the tempestuous idea of the gases that make them, as per NASA spaceplace. This agitated attractive field conduct, otherwise called sun-powered action, can set off sunlight-based flare ejections from the surface that discharge tremendous measures of electromagnetic radiation, a type of energy that incorporates radio waves, microwaves, X-beams, gamma beams and apparent light. Solar flares will quite often begin from areas of the sun-powered surface that contain sunspots, hazier, cooler bits of the sunlight-based surface where attractive fields are serious areas of strength especially. Thusly, the number of sunspots can show the probability of a sun-based flare ejection. Well, I think that is enough solar flare introduction. So without further ado, let's jump right into the main part of today's video. The solar flares come in the midst of an observable increase in sun-powered action lately. SpaceWeather.com says a tempest is whirling around sunspot AR 3014, to the degree that the locale is in a real sense fuming. As the attractive lines bend and tangle, they might snap and send a coronal mass launch towards our planet. Forecasters with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration or NOAA, for short, compose space weather, gauge a 35% opportunity of M-class sunlight-based flares and a 15% opportunity of X-flares on May 19. X-flares are the most grounded conceivable class of flares, and would it be a good idea for them they eject from this specific sunspot, they would be geo-effective because of the sunspot confronting Earth. Flares are frequently joined by CMEs, which would show up somewhat later. Up until this point, researchers have seen a whirlwind of X-beams related to the M-class flares, as caught by NOAA's Geostationary Operational Environmental Satellite 16 or GOES-16 for short, the satellite that screens the Americas. The Sun appears to have gotten up in mid-2022 as it moves towards the pinnacle of its sun-powered cycle in 2025. It has shot various flares as of late, including a couple of X-class ones. Normally the CMEs following flares are innocuous and simply make vivid auroras high up in the environment. However, in a few extremely interesting cases, they can disturb satellites, electrical cables and other foundations. So researchers continue to look at the Sun to survey its elements and to anticipate space weather conditions as best as could be expected. In the United States, for instance, both NASA and NOAA check out at the Sun constantly. A sun-gazing mission known as Parker's Solar Probe is clearing in near Take a gander at the crown or superheated external district of the Sun, as different satellites watch from further abroad to acquire setting. More information on this can be found on space.com or livescience.com. Links will be in the description below. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments section. And if you enjoy our content, and never want to miss a video, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching.